Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a brand new baby names tag as developed by my really lovely friend SJ. So if you would like to talk all things baby names with me and join in the comments below, then keep watching. So I have to give a big shout out to SJ for coming up with this tag because I think it's a brilliant idea. I feel like every single time I've been pregnant with all three of mine, I have swatted up on baby names, and if you remember when I was actually pregnant with Stanley, SJ helped me come up with his name as well. It was weirdly on our list as well as hers, and having her feedback really helped to cinch the deal. So I couldn't resist this, but I'm going to get right into it, and make sure you join in the comments as well because I think it'll be a fun one to do. So as a bit of background, I have three children as I've mentioned, and I have William James, who I call Bill for short because Bill is obviously a nickname derivative of William. I have Daisy Nell, and I also have Stanley James as well. So that's my kind of name type in a nutshell. I would say I'm a little bit traditional, but I would say probably more towards the unusual side than like more common, if that makes sense. But let's get on to the questions. So the first one I absolutely love is, if you had a baby tomorrow, what would you call them, boy and girl? And if I had free reign on this and I could gag Mark with duct tape so he can't join in and poo-poo all of my suggestions, I would go for the name Samson for a boy, which was actually on my list for Stanley. I just absolutely love it. I think it's really unusual. It has a bit of a biblical reference to it and a literary reference, which I really like with baby names. You'll notice that all of my baby names were particularly Bill, like William Shakespeare, and Daisy from The Great Gatsby. There are some literary references there and also floral references as well, and I love the name Samson so much. I just think it's beautiful, and I like the fact that you could call him like Sammy or Sonny for short if you wanted to, and I felt like it was a name that was going to really grow with my baby, but Mark hated it. And then for a girl, I really like the name Amma, which is A-M-M-A, and I've heard this recently and I just think it's a stunning name, like Amma Jane. I think it would be beautiful. So Samson and Amma, but I've got three children and I'm not having any more, but you can borrow those names if you like. Question number 2 is, what would you rename yourself keeping your same first initial? So obviously I'm Charlotte, so that's SC, and I think I would probably go with the name Callie. There's loads of names that I like that are C names, like I like Cora and I like Clementine, but I feel like I would actually suit Callie. I don't know why, but yeah, I think I would go for that, and it would be Callie Louise Taylor. But now I'm thinking about that, I've never really felt much for my name, like it's just my name and that's that, but now I actually think I prefer Charlotte. Question number 3 is, what would you have been or wish you had been called if you were the opposite gender? Now I actually know the answer to this question because when I was in my mum's tummy, they didn't know that I was a boy or a girl, I don't think, and it was either Charlotte or Christopher if I was a boy. And like, I am quite glad that I'm a Charlotte. I like being a girl, I think it rocks, and I'm not like, I don't mind the name Christopher, but it doesn't blow me away. If I was a boy, I can't even imagine it. Should I just be lame and go with Charlie because like I'm used to that as a nickname in some respects? So yeah, maybe Charlie, but yeah, Christopher. Can you imagine me as a man called Chris? I can't either. No, I can't. The next question, number 4, is favourite vintage baby name for a boy and a girl, and I would have to say this is probably my favourite like genre of names, and it's probably there's quite a few, but if I had to pick one for the girl, I would pick Evelyn because I just think it's beautiful. It might not be like rare and ultra uncommon, but I think it's just timeless and classic, and I love like the fact that you could call her Eve for short, or Evie, or Lynn, and I think it's just beautiful, and I love the way it feels on the tongue, like Evelyn. I think it's so nice, and that was actually on my list for Daisy as well. And for a boy, I quite like the name Gus, which is super cute, and it does remind me a little bit of the mouse from Cinderella, if you know who I'm talking about. But I just think Gus is really underused. I haven't ever met a little baby Gus, or like a child Gus or an adult Gus, but I think it is quite a cool name because it's a very short monosyllabic name, and they're just quite unusual sometimes, and they always feel quite classic. So yeah, Evelyn and Gus. Question number 5 is favourite nature names for boys and girls. So obviously I'm just going to pick one of each, and the first one for a girl I would pick Breyer, which I believe in French means nature, and I just think Breyer is lovely. It reminds me of Breyer Rose, that was Sleeping Beauty, wasn't it? And I just think that's a beautiful name, and I haven't really ever met a Breyer, and I just think it would be gorgeous, but alas, no more children for me. And then for a boy, I want to give a special mention to Fox, because I just love Fox, and I also love the name Grey. I think Grey is lovely, and I'm going to go with Grey because it reminds me of like the outdoors in the north where I live. But I think the name that I'm going to go with, which I've not heard much of, is actually Stirling, which obviously relates to silver, which is like an element. And I think that's a really cool name, like Sterling Taylor, or like whatever your surname is, but it's quite unusual, and I do like unusual names. I think they're only unusual because they're not used that much. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're weird or like kooky, it's just because of the sign of the times and like name trends and that sort of thing. So yeah, Breyer and Stirling, that's what I would go with. Question number 6 is favourite YouTuber's name and or baby name, and I have to give a shout out to SJ for this one. Not only do I think that Sarah Jane is like such a classic proper British name, but it's Blossom. I just think that Blossom is absolutely gorgeous as a name, and I just think it's stunning. So I know it's probably a bit cliche because she's done this tag, but I absolutely love that name. Question number 7 is favourite literary name, and it only says name, but what I'm going to do is pick a boy and a girl because I have one for each of those. And the boy's name would actually be Romeo, and hear me out. I have a cat called Romeo, and I also had a cat before he got hit by a car called Gatsby, and I just love looking to like literary references to find names. I think it's an amazing like way to find something new, and Shakespeare in particular is a fantastic place to start. And then for a girl's name, I'm actually going to go with one that's probably a bit obscure, but if you are of my generation, do you remember the book called The Borrowers? Because one of the lead characters in that is called Arrietty, and I just think it's so adorable. It's such a cute name. I'm not even sure if it's like origin, whether or not it was fictional from that book or whether it actually exists as a name, but it's just so cute. But yeah, I'm going to go for Romeo and Arrietty. Question number 8 is favourite own name that isn't Oliver or Olivia, and I think I'm going to go with, okay, I don't know if this is cheating, I don't think it is because it's a different name, but as a girl I love the name Olive. I think Olive is beautiful, and I think I actually prefer it to Olivia, to be honest. And then for a boy's name that's been on my list quite a few times with all 3 kids is Oscar. I just think Oscar is so cute and like cheeky, and you can just imagine like a little baby Oscar, at least I can anyway. So yeah, Olive and Oscar. Question number 9, what did you wish you were called when you were younger? Now, when I was younger, I have quite a long name. Charlotte's 9 letters, and you can do quite a lot with it, so it was quite useful for nicknames anyway, because I could be Charlie. I was Charlotte at one point, and I was Lottie for a long time, and I actually really liked being Lottie when I was growing up, but I found as I got older it felt a bit twee for me when I turned into the teenage years. Another name that I really liked at the time is like, you know, I wanted to be Spice Girls, or even if I was like renamed Baby Spice, I would have rocked it. I think that I was very fickle as a child, but yeah, Lottie just certainly felt a lot cooler than Charlotte at the time. Question number 10, what name would you or did you immediately veto when it came to naming your baby? So I have 2, and one is a really obvious one, but my surname, if you hadn't yet noticed, is Taylor, and that is obviously a name as well. But in my head, when I see like people called Taylor, like Taylor Swift or anybody, I'm like, that's not a name. And it's just because it's been my surname obviously for 30 years now, and I just can never ever get it in my head as like a proper name, and it just sounds wrong to me. But again, it's my surname, go figure. So obviously we could never have like a Taylor because that would be really weird. And then the other one that I loved, and it was so funny, this story, when I was pregnant with Daisy and we knew she was a girl, Mark and I were battling for quite some time over what her name would be, and I found a name on my lunch break, and we worked at the same place at the time, and I messaged him because we had like a group chat at work, and I messaged him privately and I was like, oh my god, I found the name, are you ready? And he was like, go on then. I think he was a bit tired of all the name chat, to be honest. And I went, Bonnie, and then he went, ha 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 ha, and then sent me a gif, and it was, turn around, every now and then I get a little bit lonely, and yeah, Bonnie Taylor. So we couldn't have Bonnie Taylor because it's too much like Bonnie Tyler, and I was gutted, and I was like, yeah, no, you know what, I'll go with you on that one, fair enough. So yeah, Bonnie, we just had to scratch off the list. But every time I hear that name now, I just laugh because it just reminds me of that little situation, that scenario, and like trying to find Daisy's name. So yeah, Bonnie. So that is all of the questions, I believe, and I think I'm meant to tag some people myself. So I'm going to tag Sarah from This Mama Life, because I love Sarah's videos and I really like her name choices as well, and I would love to see what she comes up with. I'm going to tag Amber from Meet the Wilds, because if you don't follow Amber already, she is due another baby imminently, and I can't wait to hear what this little baby is called, because her baby, she's got 4 children already, 2 sets of twins. Her names are incredible and we just need this video from her. I am going to tag my friend Rebecca, Mrs. Meldrum, and I am also going to tag my friend Kaylee from Friendly First Feeds. She doesn't do YouTube loads, but I feel like this would be a really good one for her to do and give it a go. And then finally I'm going to tag my lovely friend Rebecca Lamb as well, because I love her baby name choices as well. So yeah, if any of you fancy doing this in the comments down below, please do, because I would love to have a nosy and read through, and it might give everybody else some name inspiration as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thank you SJ for coming up with this brilliant tag. I hope lots of people do it, and I hope you all have a lovely day whatever you're up to. Bye.